Caleb's ultimate weapon, X-02. This companion is unlocked with Caleb's secondary Stellactrum 5-star solar pair, which can only be obtained from the limited banner, and limited myth banners will rerun. His main attribute is attack, so try equipping memories with talent attack because they'll always have higher attack values compared to the other memories of the same level. And also make sure to choose protocols that give higher attack. When using talent attack memories with protocols that give high attack, we get free damage boost to weakened. This is the reason I highly encourage you to do this. If you are unfamiliar about battles in Love and Deep Space, you can check out my battle guide series, linked here or in the description. You'll find different guides that will help you learn all the basics needed, and more guides will be added soon. So let's get started. I will go through a lot of terms of his mechanics. You can find all the timestamps in the description. X-02 companion is a very powerful companion. Even though he has a lot of terms, I can say that he has quite simple mechanics. There isn't much to keep in mind when using X-02 in battles. At the end of this guide, you'll know everything you need to know in order to win battles with X-02. So, let's go. First of all, we can accumulate something called stasis particles, which can stack up to 4 times. They can only be obtained when using basic attacks on Wanderers that are in Quantum Stasis. Now, Quantum Stasis can be applied when using a charged attack or the resonance skill. You'll see this icon on the Wanderers that are affected. And when using basic attacks on these marked Wanderers, this will let us accumulate stasis particles. Now, I use a little trick here. As you know, the basic attacks lets us create a combo, and the last 2 of this combo are always a bit slower, but of course they deal more damage. Sometimes when I need to, I only use the first 2 basic attacks of the combo for faster accumulation of stasis particles. You can use dodge to break the combo when you reach 2. And also if you use his secondary solar pair in the battle, the support skills, the basic and the empowered, will also let you accumulate stasis particles. You'll find all the rank up bonuses summarized at the end of this battle guide. The Quantum Stasis on Wanderers also increase the damage we inflict on them by 10% for 5.5 seconds. These stasis particles are consumed by the active skill. Now, whichever weapon we use, the exclusive weapon or the default weapons like the Claymore, whenever we use the active skill, it will consume 1 stasis particle if available. Each stasis particle consumed restores a bit of energy and increases the active skill damage by 5% for 3 seconds. You will see it in this icon here, and this can be stacked up to 4 times when consumed one after the other. This brings us to the benefits of the exclusive weapon. We can hold down the active skill button for something called quantum clustering, which generates 2 quantum clusters at regular intervals up to 3 times. So, in total, we can have 6 clusters. When we release the active skill button or when the gathering is stopped, these quantum clusters will launch toward the enemies to deal damage. When we have more clusters, we can deal more damage. So, let's talk about how to get more clusters. When holding down the active skill button, it can also consume 1 stasis particle to trigger an additional quantum cluster. In other words, we'll get 4 quantum clusters per quantum clustering instead of 2 quantum clusters. Now there is a little catch here. We know we can accumulate 4 stasis particles, and as I said a few seconds ago, using the active skill consumes 1 stasis particle. So only the rest of the particles will be used for getting the additional clusters. Here I have the summary for the number of quantum clusters we can get for the number of stasis particles. For example, when you have 4 stasis particles, when using the active skill, the first one will be consumed for using the active skill. The rest of the 3 will give double the quantum clusters, which will give 4 times 3, 12 clusters in total. And this is the maximum number of clusters we can have. Always try to have 4 stasis particles before using the active skill for max advantage, because if you remember, each stasis particle consumed also increases the active skill damage. And if you are close to weakening wanderers, try to use the active skill after you weaken them. The usage of the active skill will also restore oath energy, which is great. The more we use the active skill, the sooner we can use the Ardent Oath, which is what we are going to talk about next. The Ardent Oath. X-02's Ardent Oath will always start with 15% of oath energy. When we enter into the battle and also after using the Ardent Oath, it will always start accumulating at 15%, not at 0. And this happens no matter the ranks of the memories. When using the Ardent Oath, we enter ultimate synced state. It lasts for 12 seconds and we are invincible this whole duration. And this is where we get the mech. Usually the Ardent Oath is just a cutscene and it deals a max damage calculated with just one equation, but X-02's Ardent Oath needs us to do extra work. We have to hold down the basic attack to continuously deal damage on the wanderers. And these basic attacks will trigger critical hits when the wanderers are not weakened or if they don't have any protocol shields. We can also swipe around the screen to focus the mech on the wanderers. And this is all you have to do here. There are some other things automatically happening, like all of the stasis particles will be cleared and replaced by synced particles. And synced particles are recovered when we use the basic attacks. When this synced particles bar is full, they are consumed to unleash a sync strike, which draws nearby enemies. This all happens automatically when you hold down the basic attack button. And as I said, this is pretty much all you need to know about X-02. It's just the active skill and the Ardent Oath. It's pretty simple. And these are the benefits of ranking up the solar pair. Remember, you can only use these bonuses when equipping his secondary Stellactrum solar pair to the battle. If you equip another solar pair, you'll only be able to get the base bonuses, which are written in black here. And that is all about Caleb Ultimate Weapon X-02 Companion. I hope this guide will help you in his battles. Make sure to have high attack for his battles. If there's anything unclear in this guide, you can ask me in the comments. And this is from my battle guide series. You can check out the battle guides for other companions. And if this guide helped you, like and subscribe to my channel. I try to make these guides as simple as possible for everyone to understand. There will be more combat guides and tips coming soon. And this is Ari's Haven, and see you in my next video.